When I was younger, sports were never something that would be attached to my identity, but now I call myself a triathlete. My name's Pat, and I'm a fourth-year physics student here at Queen's, and I do and compete in triathlon. I actually started doing triathlon only about a little over a year ago. I got injured in powerlifting, and my brain is such that I just can't stay doing nothing and sedentary. So I was like, I always wanted to do an Ironman or something of the sort. So I was like, let's just give this a shot and see how it goes. And I completely fell in love with it. It was definitely a learning curve to enter this kind of new type of training for me. I had no endurance background at all, and I had no kind of fitness. I got winded going up like 2 flights of stairs, especially when it came to swimming, and I had no idea how to hold any proper form, and I could probably only swim about 50 meters at a time. Even though I'm a triathlete, I'm actually on the cycling team here at Queen's. I joined cycling for the sheer reason that I wanted to go on group rides with people, whether it's swimming, cycling, running, or all three. It can feel really individual, and you can kind of tend to lose a bit of your social life when you're training for these things. I think being in a club is definitely a bit of a double-edged sword when you're a student athlete. You kind of have to figure out how to balance so many different things with being a student, and being a student is so different because it's not like a job where you have this kind of set week and that week is pretty much the same. In triathlon, you're balancing these harder and harder weeks as they stack up, but also your weeks in school are going to be completely different, and you're going to have weeks where you can fit in more training and weeks where you can't. So I think a big thing is you have to be able to compromise with both of them. So something I like to do is if I have an exam coming up, but I have a lot of biking indoors, for example, I'll literally have a video of whatever I'm trying to study on YouTube going on my TV, and then I'm literally riding my bike at the same time. I think my biggest struggle is it's definitely one that stayed consistent throughout training, and it's definitely having these highs and lows within training and not seeing always this sort of linear progression. It can be a little hard with things like Strava and everything like that to not compare yourself to these sorts of metrics that other people on the team are putting out. And the improvement's been there. I mean, I'm swimming faster, I'm running faster, and I'm biking faster. So at the end of the day, that's what matters, and that you're having fun while doing it, which is exactly what's happening.
My name is Liz, and I'm on a synchronized skating team in Kingston, Ontario. I started figure skating in 2013 with my sister. I stopped synchro at the end of high school after competing at the national championships in Calgary. My team didn't do as planned, and we ended up coming in 7th when we were hoping to come in the top 3. I took that loss really hard. I did struggle a lot with performance anxiety and would put a lot of pressure on myself. And I honestly, I never really overcame that. It was a bit hard the first year after stopping, and that I felt like skating had been such a big part of my life for so many years, and a huge part of who I was. Since I grew up doing synchro, I would compete against the teams from the Kingston Skating Club, so I was always aware that there was a team there. I was like, oh, maybe I can do this next year. And then every year I was like, no, I know I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to go back to skating. I would get so worked up about it, and there was so much pressure. I just want to, no, this part of my life is over. At the end of 3rd year, there was the tryout for the following season. I was supposed to be studying for my exams, and I really didn't want to study for my exams. I was like, what can I do instead of studying for my exams? So I went to the tryout, and I was like, oh my god, why didn't I do this 2 years ago? So the first competition, actually, we came 7th out of 9, and I was driving in the competition in the car with my coach, and she said, I hope we score, I think she said 40 points, and we scored 42 points, and I was so happy. I knew, I was like, even if we're dead last but scored 2 more points than she hoped, I was so happy. I was like, this is the best day of my life. I love skating. I can't believe I ever stopped this one before. At a competition, maybe if I came third, I'd be pissed. It's just really refreshing to not really care that much about the placement and just care about improving and having fun instead of being the best and having all this pressure. I think that being part of this team has really helped to heal my relationship with the sport. I don't know, I just feel like I got part of who I used to be back in a really good way.
My history with music starts with my older sister, who was taking piano lessons when I was about 5 or 6 years old. And after she was done her lesson, I snuck into the room and ended up playing her piece by ear. Very quickly after, my parents enrolled me in music lessons. My name is William Abernethy. I am a third-year mechanical engineering student here at Queen's, and I love music. I started playing guitar around the 4th grade, and I absolutely hated it. What I really found was that it was what I was playing that I wasn't interested in. I had another teacher come around and start me with blues, and I ended up really enjoying that. And then that progressed into things like rock, and eventually into what I really love, which is jazz. Previous to university and high school, I used to perform a lot. I played in bars, I played at school events. Every Friday night, my band would be playing in my basement until my parents got upset. Nowadays, guitar plays a pretty different role in my life. Just as an example, say if I go write a midterm and I just totally bomb it, I'll come home and I'll throw on a backing track or an album or something, and I'll play guitar for a couple hours, and it'll just totally ground me and make me feel way better. My interests as an engineer and my tendencies as a person in general do change how I interact with my instruments. For one, I can't leave anything alone that I own. I have to go in and rewire and modify everything I touch. I don't know why, but I just, something overcomes me and I just have to do it. I have this guitar right here. This is my custom-built Gibson SG clone. I had a friend laser cut the body and the neck for me, and then I did all of the inlays and the fretting here. Another way that my music ties into engineering is stuff like pedal boards. So these are effects pedals, and these alter the signal of your guitar going into your amplifier. So there's fuzzes. I have an octave fuzz, a fuzz, and a wah. Keep your instrument accessible to you. If you put it away in a box under your bed, you will never touch it. I have mine on a stand beside my desk, and it really does actually, it encourages me to play it because I see it and it sort of triggers my brain to go, oh yeah, it's there. Let me just go have a quick play.